Hi everybody, happy Monday. This is the Astral Tourist again. Last night I had a brief astral projection. It was getting kind of fuzzy. I was kind of slipping into dreaming about it at the same time. Remember, some of these states can be mixed. But for the most part, I could tell I was still astral projecting. I was holding on to it as best as I could. One of the ways to do that is to go ahead and let your mind dream a little bit. This maybe is not a good idea for brand new beginners to this, because then you might just slip into a whole dream. But for people who have more experience, you can get away with this with some practice. And it just involves letting your mind wander a little bit while you also maintain line of sight where you are on the astral plane. Now, whether that's who you're speaking with, the ground, some feature in the scenery, line of sight, remember that. That's a big tip. And I've been giving it multiple times because that's how I hold my focus when I'm even super, super tired. And that one beginners should do. Everybody should. So line of sight, line of sight, line of sight. Whatever else is going on, even if you let your mind wander a little bit, for those who are more advanced, you gotta keep your bearings. I think pilots call it flying the plane. You have to keep that situational awareness in the astral, or you'll lose it. You might just slip into the dream or sleep. So yeah, I was holding my line of sight. I remember I was with somebody at this big meeting, only we weren't at the meeting anymore, and they were guiding me somewhere. Things looked dark, but I'm not sure if they really were, or if that was just because I was conserving energy and not using my astral sight like I could be, right? So eventually I remember coming into this very large building where there was a manager. And suddenly I realized this is a hotel, a very large one, huge, enormous. I don't know what happened to the person who guided me there, but they were gone. And the manager explained that I'd be checking into this company suite. So I've shared about this before, where oftentimes there are these rest locations in the astral. Where I see a hotel, your mind might interpret it as something else, maybe not. And a lot of times I get stuck in these very small rooms, or like a large bed and breakfast type place where there are lots of people. If it's busy, just zoning out, resting their astral bodies. So I'm used to these shared spaces, but this time it was a suite that he was talking about checking me into. And so I double checked with this manager, who was a man. I don't remember his features very well, just that he's the manager. I'm trying so hard to remember. I think he had a pajama shirt on, or just a shirt maybe with buttons that had some gold patterns and designs on it. He was kind of flashy. Okay, so he's trying to get me checked into my suite. I double checked with him about payment because I didn't feel like I had anything to give, like some extra energy to the place or anything. And he reminded me, it's on the company. You were doing something to help the company, and this is the company pool of energy space here. So he showed me to my suite. Again, it was all kind of blurry. I think a couple of times I drifted off into lucid dreaming while we were going down the corridor, but I held on to that line of sight. I held on to the corridor, and the manager is with me, and that got me to the suite. He did tell me what number it was to reinforce it for my memory because I wanted to know, and it was not room 3D. That part comes later. I just remember it has 3 numbers, and one of them was a 1, and the other 2 numbers I have forgotten. So I'm sorry. It's a suite number something with a 1 in it, and I don't remember which position the 1 was in. I remember there was some tan, I think, in the hallway. I don't remember anything too fancy going on in the hallways, but again, I was drifting a little bit. So once I entered the suite, he wasn't with me anymore at all. So I looked around a little bit. It was huge, this huge, luxurious living room. I remember there was a full kitchen, and there was china in the kitchen, china with intricate patterns. And I wasn't sure if I was supposed to wash some of the dishes. I saw that there were 2 on the counter, and I was getting a little confused again. I wasn't sure if they had been used or if they were there waiting for me. So I thought, I'm not hungry anyway. And I very gently and gingerly, like there were these 2 dishes in particular, I put them in the sink, and I just put a little bit of soap and scrubbed very, very gently, like very soft on these dishes. And I was mainly just looking at them and the intricate geometric patterns, and they were kind of white with a pinkish color, but more of a pinkish red. I don't want to say maroon. Pinkish, reddish, purple, like all those 3 colors together were vibrant in the design. And then eventually I left that area. I left the kitchen, and the hotel room phone rang, and it just looked like a regular phone on a table, so I picked up the receiver, and it was somebody from the meeting telling me that they had just checked into the hotel as well, and if I wanted to meet up with them. I think it was a man. I'm not sure anymore. Pretty sure, but not all the way. If I wanted to meet up with him, I was supposed to go find room number 3D. D as in dog. 3D. I thought that was kind of a funny sounding name for the room because, three dimensions, third dimensional. And this hotel just seemed so much larger than that and with more dimensions. I was like, okay, room 3D. And that got me a little more lucid because I love to explore. And I thought, well, I'm in a whole different room than that, and I want to see what this room 3D looks like. Like, will it have the super vibrant colors, or be more dull? What will it be like? So my energy was picking up a little bit more, and I left my room to go find the manager. And I think if I had waited longer, I wouldn't have been able to find the manager. I just kind of retraced my steps by feeling on that one, not even by sight. I just remember how it felt when he was guiding me to my room. So I just retraced in my mind, how did that feel? And I took it backwards until I found the manager in his office. Once I was there again, I asked him about room 3D and how I could find it. So he didn't have time to walk me there, so he showed me a large map, and on it, it looked like the rooms were going by quadrants. So I remember specifically room 3D wrote it down, so I'm going to have to look at my notes. Was next to 3G. G is in green. So room 3D was next to room 3G. And 3G was like in bold letters on this map. I think maybe it was a really important room. I don't know. And then he pointed me to the elevator in the hotel. I've had some tricky experiences in astral elevators before, so I was pretty cautious getting into the thing. They can be a little wild, go sideways, diagonal. But this one, it seemed like I barely felt anything as soon as I got into it. There was a brief time while it was moving, and the doors opened, and right in front of me was this the hallway, and then a door that said 3G on it. And I looked down the hallway from the elevator, and there weren't any other doors on like that whole side of the hotel. 3G must be a massive room. And I was drifting a little bit, and that got me lucid enough, and I remembered 3D should be nearby because it's in the same quadrant. So I got out of the elevator. There was this brief time while all of this was going on where I was concerned the doors might close before I could get out, but they didn't. This was a very well-behaved elevator this time, so yay! So I looked on the other side of the hallway, and I found a very small door labeled 3D. It wasn't miniature, but I could tell it was a small room. Not tiny, just small, not like the suite I was in, not like this massive 3G area over on the other side. And I made the mistake of looking away just while I was thinking about knocking. And when I looked back, 3D wasn't there anymore. So I looked away again, and then I looked back, and it was back. So I quickly knocked before it was going to do the disappearing act again. I knocked a few times and had no answer. So, I don't know. I was curious about this 3G area, so I went over there and I knocked on that door as well, just to see if I could get a peek at the place, And normally I wouldn't disturb anybody like that, especially not in the physical, but in the astral, my curiosity, it gets the best of me. And mostly that's for the better, so, I knocked on 3G a few times, and again, no answer. Oh well, too bad. I still wanted to record this. It was fun looking around and just sharing what it's like to be on the astral plane. So I woke up while I was there in the hallway, knocking on 3G's door again. So, have a wonderful Monday. Remember to keep your line of sight in the astral, and happy travels. Bye for now.